Hello everyone. Welcome to today's lecture on language loyalty, social identity and social attitudes along with stereotypes. Today we will be looking into all of these topics and all of them fall under sociolinguistics. Now to begin with, let us first understand the concept of language loyalty. Now all of these terms that we will be discussing today, they may look like very simple in terms of definition and meaning, but they actually play a huge role in sociolinguistic study of language. Okay, they are basically based on how a society functions, how a society is layered and stratified, and how language plays a very important role in between human and their culture, human and their behavior. Okay, so firstly we have language loyalty. What is language loyalty? By the name itself you can take a guess that it means being loyal to your language. Now how are you supposed to stay loyal to your language? What is the method? Okay, so language loyalty, if we are to strictly speak of definition, we can say that it refers to the adherence of speakers towards their own native language. Everyone, each one of us that is born with one native language at least, and that is the first language, the language that you are brought into when you are born, and the language that you grow up speaking the maximum amount of time. So this particular language is a memory of your childhood. It is a memory of your parents, your siblings, your friends, your family members, all these people that you have grown up with. So it is something that takes you back home. It is something that makes you feel at ease, and it is something that you're comfortable in, you are proficient in, you are skilled in. You must have noticed that when any of you, like for example, let's take this lecture. Whatever I'm saying, I have coded it in the English language. I have chosen this particular language for communicating with you. Right? Now, if I were to use a language different from the English language, let's say I am speaking in Bengali, or I'm speaking in Marathi, or I'm speaking in Tamil, what will happen? All the listeners, all the audience that exist, out of them, the Bengalis will be able to understand better, the Tamils will be able to understand better, the Marathis will be able to understand better. So the comprehension of speech, of communication, is best when it is done in the native language. This means that your mind is working most proficiently when it comes to your mother tongue. Okay, so automatically things of these sort, the features that are associated with your native language, they signify that you are mentally and physically very close to your native language, and the reason is very much clear. Now this means that you are going to have a sort of soft corner for your native tongue, or love for your native language. Now this love is your reason for loyalty. If you love something, you are loyal to that particular thing or person, right? Similarly, if you like your language, if you love your language, then you are going to try to maintain your language, you will try to use your language as much as possible, and you will relish speaking your language. Now this love for your native language or your mother tongue is deep rooted in your ancestral history. It is deep rooted in your ethnicity, in your culture, in your tradition, in your origin, and basically in who you are as a person. Now we are all different entities, different individuals in this world, but our identity, what we are, who is our ancestor, how do you know about something? if let's say I bring to you a person XYZ, you're going to ask their name. Who is he or who is she? Then by the name itself, you're going to take a guess that, okay, since this is the name, then this might be their history, their tradition, their culture, their ethnicity, their origin, simply because of the name. So what is this name? This name is coming from language, right? And let's say a child who is born and brought up in a Brahmin family will most probably have a name that is having Sanskrit origin. A child that is born and brought up in a Muslim family will most probably will have a name which is associated with the Arabic tradition or the Urdu tradition, right? So all these little cues about your name is hidden in the language that you speak. Understood? So your language, the moment you open your mouth and speak something, it is a direct pathway to the sense of belonging, to your identity, to your origin, to your history. Okay, and the best part about this is that we as speakers of our native language, we know that it is something very valuable. Okay, we know that it is something that is private, something which is personal, something which is like a memory. It is like a rich heritage, cultural heritage. It is something very nice and something very sweet. So the ancestors of our language, of your and my native tongue, they preserved it very carefully and they decided to pass it on. This is something known as cultural transmission, and it is one of the features of language, right? Cultural transmission. This is a technical term which was used by Hockett in his design features of language, and he has specifically mentioned that language has this feature of cultural transmission where everything in the language is passed on as it is from one generation to the other generation without missing out anything. Okay, so this is what? This is basically their way of carrying forward their culture. This is their way of resisting language changes. This is their way of maintaining their language, protecting it against any kind of domination, any kind of discrimination, any kind of marginalization, and any kind of policy, language policy, be it the government, be it the ruling party, be it the kingship, whatever it is, that may cause shifts in language. Okay, language shift is a process by which you start speaking and using a different language which is different from your own language. This is language shift, and language shift is just opposite to language maintenance. If you resist the forces of domination and marginalization, then you are able to maintain your language, you are able to preserve your language, and you are able to preserve the usage of your language. You are able to maintain the vitality of your language. On the other hand, if you cannot do all of these things that I have mentioned, then what happens? You start speaking the language of your dominant people, the people who have some sort of political power over you, some sort of dominance over you, and hence you start adjusting according to their language, their culture, and this is known as language shift, which is automatically getting rid of your language under pressure and adapting somebody else's language as your own. Okay, the reasons may be a whole plethora of reasons. It may be because of discrimination, it may be because of lack of opportunity in the language, it may be because of as a way to avoid problems in life, political problems. So many different reasons might be there, because when it comes to language, people become really strict.